Okay, if you have 2 points, an x1, y1 and an x2, y2, okay, then you can immediately write the slope, right? So let's do that. Let's just take this equation, or this picture, and I'm going to draw it kind of small because I used up almost all my board space. This is x1, y1, just like before. Instead of xy, this is x2, y2. Okay, we'll label the fundamental triangle. You should be able to do this very quickly. Just gotta look back at what I did here, that's okay, but make sure you understand what you're doing. Yeah, the rise and the run. Yeah, I thought I saw something, but fortunately I didn't. Okay, that's good. Go ahead and label it. Show your arrows, label your rise and run. Write it out in detail. It's x2 minus x1, right? Look here, this is x2, right? Yeah. And that's got to be x2. That's good. Just make sure you use the points that you have. Good. But if you're going in this direction, it's got to be this minus this.
This minus this.
Yeah. Now what you wrote there is still going to give you a balanced slope. Make sure you understand which one is subtracted from which.
Okay.
Okay? No. It's not x minus x1. There's no xy up here.
Oh.
So use the labels of 2 points, right? Good. Okay, so the run is x2 minus x1. Not x minus x1. If you write x minus x1, I'm a little bit afraid you're just copying down what I have here, okay? And not seeing what's there. You gotta just look at the coordinates of these points and use them. And you gotta subtract where you end up minus where you start. You subtract where you start from where you end up, okay? Make sure you got that straight. And the rise is y2 minus y1. So the slope is, didn't leave myself a lot of room. Might be a little small to read, I know it is. I'll write it here. Okay? So, from this picture, now the difference between an xy and an x2, y2 is xy could be any point on the line, right? X and y are just the coordinates at some point on the line. It's a variable. X1 and y1 are specific numbers, and x2, y2 are specific numbers, okay? So taking what I got here, I've got the slope, which is m, of course. But m is the slope, it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Y minus y1 then over x minus x1 equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And you'll see that as the 2-point form, okay, of the equation of the line. Well, what's the slope of a line parallel to this line? Well, we're almost out of time, so I'm going to tell you the slope. This is slope-intercept form. This is a y equals mx plus b, right? Slope is 3/7. Y-intercept is at -9, right? So you could sketch that. Okay. But what's the slope? Parallel lines have equal slopes. Okay? Perpendicular lines have negative reciprocal slopes. Okay, in this case, and negative reciprocal of 3/7 would be what? Well, reciprocal means you flip the fraction. Just like, when you divide fractions, you multiply by the reciprocal of the fraction you're dividing by. And then you change its sign. So if I ask you for a line parallel to this line through the point 7,4, well, you would just do what we did over here, okay? If I ask for a line perpendicular through a given point, well, you'd have the point and you would know the slope, right? If I ask you for a line parallel or perpendicular to a given line, you'll immediately know what the slope has to be. And then if I tell you what point it has to go through, you've got a point and a slope, you can find the line. Okay, now there are 3 assignments right now due next Tuesday. But I'm going to move the assignments a little bit, that's too much. Okay? It's more than you really need to stay ahead of your pre-calculus class, unless I find out differently. Okay? I'm probably going to only ask for 2 of those. The third one, something that comes much later in the course, okay?